What's good, fam? It's your boy Tony, aka the Senator of Chaos and Controversy, and I suppose, I suppose that I could talk about my thoughts on the release of Bill Cosby here recently, and give my input on what I think about um, these sensitive cases that involve molestation and rape and things of that nature, which is not anything to take light. Another issue to be addressed, but I want to talk about crying wolf or capitalizing on opportunity and where there's good and bad and where the checks and balances often at times are offset when it comes to false allegations and who it can harm. Okay, many would assume when I say who it can harm, I don't mean the person who's being accused of such allegations. I'm talking about the people who legitimately have a claim, a case to come forward and make a statement saying, "Hey, this is what happened. This is who violated me." And believe it or not, it's not just women; it's men too that get violated and raped and stuff like that. So don't assume that this just only applies to women. It doesn't. Okay. Um, I'm gonna come at this from two angles, and this is based on what I saw. What I saw. When it comes to celebrities such as the ones that I could point out right off the bat, Michael Jackson, R. Kelly, Bill Cosby, um, Weinstein. Morning. Um, boy T-Bone, he riding the tractor. He about to go make some money today. But most of which, and we know these hashtag movements is I want to say it's smoke screens to take your attention away from serious issues that when it comes to legislation being passed, laws or whatever the case may be, you need a distraction to draw your attention away from real issues, serious things that require your attention, but instead it's that sleight of hand, so to speak. And again, it's not me making light of the situation that has to do with rape cases, and but a lot of speculation came into play when you heard of Michael before his death when he was talking about taking over Sony, and then all of a sudden he's gone. Um, when Prince started talking about the Illuminati, he's gone. Um, R. Kelly, well, that's self-explanatory. We don't need to dive into that situation. Bill Cosby, when he started talking about investing in or taking over NBC, then all of a sudden these rape allegations started surfacing. So I have to question things. I have to question the intent, the motive, the purpose behind why all of a sudden now. That should be a shirt. Why all of a sudden now? Okay. And if these allegations were to be true, because who was it? Andrea Constant, the major player in the whole allegation against Bill Cosby, who claimed that he had drugged and molested her, whatever, when she was working at some university as an employee. I forgot. I didn't really follow this story close in detail to get all the facts and details in order, but she was one of the accusers amongst many others that had claimed that Bill Cosby had allegedly did this. Now, one of the things that many of people said that any black person that did this to a white woman, given the history on, if you raped a white woman and you were black, it didn't work well in your favor. You know, the whole reason behind her Rosewood and the Tulsa, situation, how that transpired. Emmett Till, yeah. But and then here you have a high profile celebrity, Bill Cosby. He was a break away from the stereotypes when it came to the Cosby Show. He was a doctor, whatever, and his show was based around morals and the rights and the wrongs and the standards. He was a I don't want to say positive influence when it came to the entertainment. I mean, he was that. But, Mr. Hey is Fat Albert. Impressionable. With the kids, with the cartoons. Creating Fat Albert and the Cosby Kids. But the term that I was looking for, being a positive role model. And then you had It's a Different World, where you showed kids breaking off from the Cosby Show, like Lisa Bonet. And others being at, I think it was Morehouse College, the black university or whatever. It was showing, kids growing up in a black household to black kids in a college setting getting an education, not this highlighting on gangsters and drug dealers and thugs and thieves and stuff like that. And then you have, like, if you're not of the crime element, then you're a cop or whatever. But not many roles in Hollywood or in entertainment was geared to put black people in a positive light, or seen as being someone you could look up to. But a lot of it was speculated around people taking over and grabbing what I guess others didn't approve of. And when I went to go talk about, who owns what, people who own Sony and NBC and things like that, they don't want black people to have ownership of major stock. You could be beneath or a contributor, right? If I can't make a video in the house where you got kids running around uncontrollably, to coming out here and you got people rolling in these little miniature tractors or what have you and stuff, or people interrupting me when I'm doing videos and stuff, calling me unnecessarily, or getting robocalls, or hey, I'm doing a video, don't call me within this time frame, and they still want to call. Like, is it an emergency? Could it have waited? Anyway. But that raised question. But to get back to the initial point of what I'm trying to say, when you have people that I guess you would say, are probably taking advantage of the window of opportunity of, like I said in this case, the Me Too movement. And I said, uh, how about I'm creating a I also movement. I also am sick and tired of people falsely making accusations, or I also am aware of, or I also am. But whatever. But seriously though, um, when you have people that wait for so long to come forward and say, "Hey, this is what happened to me," you start to question their credibility and if they're telling the truth, which makes it harder for people who have actually gone through the experience, who have actually within a reasonable time frame have went and done the rape kit, got tested for any diseases, to say, "Hey, that's my accuser. That's who did this." And even with it being done in a fashionable time, there's still doubt because of a lot of false allegations that was put against. Like example, who was I think he was a young basketball player, and this girl, I guess, accused this young man of raping her. It was in the news. It was one of those highlighted stories that, and I don't know if he did time, but then later she came out to say she lied because she didn't want her boyfriend to know that she slept with this person or that person. But it ruined people's lives. It ruined any potential future they might have had. I believe this kid actually was in college. Excuse me. I believe he was actually in college and actually got kicked out because of this woman's false accusation of him raping her because of how she didn't want to be perceived as, I guess, being a hoe or a slut, or having her boyfriend find out. Who's another one? Um, the girl who tried to accuse Chris Brown of doing something to her. He squashed that shit real fast. She was trying to also be one of those Me Too people who try to capitalize on celebrity status. Um, the situation with Harvey Weinstein. We all know the casting couch. We all heard stories about that. A lot of females have stepped forward and talked about what they had to go through or what they decided to do in order to get this particular roles or be in so many films and what have you. Um, and and then it goes to, sad to say, the whole sex trafficking issue. And how you have politicians involved, celebrities involved, and it's sickening. But because of the power of this, it's hard to decipher who's innocent and who's guilty. Because you try to separate what we know to be fact to just false claims. And and it's hard because you don't want to look at somebody that you probably grew up on, watching their comedies and their TV shows, and you know some of the contributions that they've made to like colleges and stuff to help other kids out and stuff like that, and then all of a sudden to have that shit just come crashing down because someone decided to step forward years, decades later to say, "Hey, this is what this person has done to me." And again, it's not to make light of it. It's just saying there's checks and balances that need to be made. And it's sad because you got a lot of people who really need the attention to say, hey, this is what happened to me. Whether it was in my family, whether it was on a job, whether it was um, actually just being on college, at school. Um, I know my son's mother told me a story about her babysitter, a person who her mom had an affair with, molested her. When she went to college and she went to a party and she woke up, clothes were off. And she did the walk of shame because she didn't know who violated her. And this is where women need to either be aware of your surroundings, or have someone there as, I don't want to say a co-pilot, but you know what I'm saying. Someone who you could trust, one of your girlfriends or one of your male friends and stuff like that, who you actually trust to have your back, to look out for your best interests. Because I hate to say it, but I can't say that the world of yesterday ain't what it is today. There was some shit going on back then, but it has gotten extremely worse. Extremely worse. I mean, you don't know who are predators. You got teachers that are predators to your children in schools. And people thought, oh, it's just the males. Oh, it's just the coaches. Oh, it's the priests. No, you got these females that are suggesting having sex with your sons, getting on the internet. And that's another issue. Kids aren't safe on the internet. Because you got a lot of impressionable people who get on here and bait your kids into something. And I know a lot of people would say, damn, shit, I wish I had a hot teacher when I was going to school to fucking proposition me to go fuck. Because I know I've had, as a teenager in high school, I had some women teachers that were extremely hot. My art teacher, my gym teacher, my Spanish teacher. These were hot ass women. And I was like, and kids talk. Hey man, yo, what's up with Miss So and So? Yo, she hot as shit. Yo, would you? And in the mind of a teenager, you ain't thinking sensibly. You thinking based on your hormones. And a lot of people would say, you know what? I don't get why these kids would sit there and call the teacher out and stuff like that, what have you. But looking at it through a different lens, me being a parent myself, you looking after the safety of your child. This is your child. When that child becomes 18, 19, or whatever, then hey, he's technically an adult. He or she's technically an adult. They can make decisions on whether they want to have a relationship with whoever. It might go against the code of ethics if even with the college professors and stuff, even college professors are getting in trouble. And the students are of legal age. But there's a code of ethics that professors, teachers, deans, they have to follow. Rules are put in place for a particular reason. Um, a lot of people, and this isn't just based on speculation, but hey, if you want to get a good grade or if you need a passing grade, what you think you're going to do? Try to seduce the teacher. Or the teacher proposition you, hey, if you want to pass my class, come over to my place. It happens. It happens. Um, but Cosby has maintained his innocence throughout the whole what have you ordeal, and I can't say whether he did or didn't do it. I wasn't there. I can only speculate, you know, as a person who's just on the outside looking in, observing. Who knows? But you have the right to. But people are awarded the benefit of the doubt. I'm just saying. But um, oh my, man, it's just anytime I think of Bill Cosby, I just think of that little clip from Eddie Murphy when he said when he went to go, what influenced him to do comedy was his idols, Bill Cosby and Richard Pryor. And I remember when he did the skit talking about when Bill Cosby called him up, chastised him, talking about you can't use Phil. And Eddie Murphy said, I ain't never used filth in none of my stand-up. And Bill Cosby says, you can't use the word fuck. And, and fucking Eddie Murphy said he got offended and hung up on his ass. And then he ended up calling Richard Pryor. Richard Pryor said, what's up? He said, you know who had the audacity to call me and chastise me? He said, who? He said, Bill. He said, are you funny? Eddie Murphy said, I think so. People laugh at your jokes. And Eddie Murphy said, yeah. Well, you can tell Bill I said, shut the fuck up and have a Coke and a smile. That part had me cracking up. And then he talking about when he went to go shit and tell you know when you go to take a shit and that shit break off in your ass and you have to use all that toilet paper and you're wiping and you're wiping and you're wiping. Or how about when you go to flush the toilet and the shit come back like, what the fuck? Yo, God bless Richard Pryor. Rest his soul. But anyway, that's all I got for today. It wasn't structured. Sorry for the interruptions. Like I said, I don't have no structure when I go to do these videos. What you see is what you get. It is what it is. But I'm all about the realism, you know. But until next time, until next video, please like, share, and subscribe. You already know how I go. Peace.